The Mermaid Princess.
Good morning, Mother. Where are my princesses?
Oh, they are all doing their work.
You have brought my daughters up well, Mother.
Yes, they are growing up to be beautiful and wise mermaids.
The 6 beautiful mermaid princesses come gliding into the Queen's chamber.
Grandma, look at the beautiful things we have collected.
The Queen looks at her youngest granddaughter.
My child, you do not seem to have brought back anything.
Grandma, the beautiful red flowers outside the castle give me more pleasure, and I am happiest when you tell me tales of the wonderful world above the sea.
You shall see everything once you turn 15.
Oh, Grandma, that is so long, long away.
Till then, your sisters will tell you what they see.
When the eldest princess turned 15, she rose above the sea to see the world beyond.
Hello, Grandma. Oh, dear sisters, I laid on a sandbank under the shining moonlight. I saw glimpses of a town and heard the sounds of music, and I even saw carriages go by.
Soon, it was time for the second princess to see the world.
When I rose up, the sun was setting and looked like a ball of orange fire. Soft clouds floated about lazily, and a flock of graceful white swans flew past. It was like a dreamland.
It was now time for the third princess to rise to the surface.
Oh, dear sisters, I swam up a white river. You cannot imagine the sights I saw. Green hills, magnificent trees and plants. And I even saw little human children. But then a weird creature came running towards me, making awful noises, and I had to quickly swim away. The children were asking why the dog was barking so much, so I guessed that horrible thing was a dog.
Soon came time for the fourth princess to venture forth to see the world. But she was very shy and just stayed in the ocean.
Well, I stayed in the middle of the ocean. But I did see some naughty dolphins splashing. There were also some huge whales, but I was scared to go near them.
What? You really did not go near the land?
How can you be so boring? You can see the sea any time, you silly thing.
Finally, the youngest princess turned 15.
Well, my precious, your dream is now going to be fulfilled. Go.
The princess rose above the sea.
Ah, the color of the sea is like emeralds. The icebergs look like beautiful pearls. The stars above are glittering like the diamonds on Grandma's tiara.
Soon, the princess's curiosity was aroused by a ship afloat nearby. She swam close to it, and every time the waves lifted her up, she could see the people on the ship. They were singing and dancing, as though celebrating.
What beautiful clothes they are wearing.
Suddenly, the princess saw the most handsome young man with beautiful brown eyes. As she was gazing at him, everyone on the ship started clapping. The princess realized that this grand celebration was for his 16th birthday.
Ooh, he is so good looking. And such a sweet 16 to my 15.
Suddenly, the calm of the sea soon turned into a restless grumble, and the lashing waves and heavy clouds and lightning indicated a massive storm brewing up. The huge waves tossed the ship about, and the ship tilted over. To her dismay, the princess saw the prince sink into the deep waters.
Oh, my darling prince is going down into the ocean. Maybe I can now live with him. What am I thinking of? Humans cannot live underwater. I have to save him.
The princess looked frantically all around and finally spotted the prince. She held him in her slender but strong arms, swam with him to the surface of the water. Then, keeping his head adrift, she led him to a beach. The next morning, the sun rose on a once again calm sea. The prince's eyes remained closed, but the sun's rays brought some color to his ashen cheeks. The princess kissed his high and smooth forehead and stroked back his wet hair. Suddenly, she heard the chattering of some young girls and quickly swam away and hid herself among some high rocks. She watched as one girl approached the prince and then went to call the others for help.
My darling prince is coming to life. How happy I am. Will he remember how I saved him?
The princess slowly made her way to her father's castle. She became very quiet and did not tell her sisters what had happened. Often, she would visit the place where she had left the handsome prince, but she never saw him and became more sad. Finally, she shared her misery with her sister.
Oh, my dear, why did you not share this with anyone? Don't worry. We will see what we can do to help you.
Thank you, dear sister. I was afraid you would make fun of me for falling in love with a human prince.
Well, it is very foolish. But you are our sister and we have to help you.
Sisters, my friends know where the prince's palace is.
What are we waiting for? Let's go!
The princesses rose to the surface near the prince's palace.
The palace shore is very beautiful.
Oh, those beautiful marble statues. I wish one of them would kiss me.
Stop acting silly.
Oh, I was just kidding.
I think I better take you all back home before you create any trouble.
The princesses reluctantly made their way back to the castle.
Now I know where my darling prince lives. I can come any time to see him. I wonder if he remembers I saved his life.
The princess now wanted to know more about humans, so she went to her grandma.
Tell me, Grandma, do humans never die?
Silly child, of course humans die. They live shorter lives than us. When we die, we become the foam on the water's surface. The humans have immortal souls and only their body dies.
Grandma, how can I get an immortal soul?
Well, if you find a man who loved you so much that he would be willing to marry to you, that could happen. But child, the fishtail that you have, which is considered so beautiful in our world, is considered ugly in the human world.
I will not give up my love so easily. Let me see if the sea witch can help me.
Ah, who do we have here? Come, come, I have been expecting you. So the princess wishes to become a human to win over the heart of her charming prince.
Oh, madam, please help me.
I will give you a magic potion. Swim with it to land tomorrow before sunrise and drink it on the shore, and you will be transformed into a beautiful and graceful young lady.
Really? Will you do that for me?
Hold your horses, princess. When your fishtail changes to 2 human legs, you will feel a searing pain, and every step you take will feel like you are treading on sharp knives. Once you become a human being, you can never become a mermaid again. Never be able to go down to the depths of the sea to see your family.
Oh, I will do anything for my love.
My price for granting you this wish would be your sweet voice.
What? Oh, how can you be so cruel?
Well, I am a witch, you know.
How will I tell my prince of my love?
You can show your love for him with your expressive eyes.
Thus, the princess changed to a human. She had severe pain when it happened, but her pain seemed to vanish when she saw the prince. And the prince also could not take his eyes off the beautiful maiden.
Where have you come from, pretty lady?
The princess could not reply and just stared at him.
You cannot speak?
The princess shook her head, and seeing her pained expression, the prince took her hand.
Hey, it's okay. I can see in your eyes what you are thinking. Come with me to the palace.
The mermaid was dressed in beautiful clothes and precious jewels. The king and queen were enthralled with her beauty and grace. Everyone enjoyed the graceful dance movements of the princess, which she performed with severe pain. Very often, the princess would catch a puzzled look on the prince's face, and one day he asked her.
I don't know why, but you seem very familiar.
However, the prince did not show any signs of recognizing her, and the princess's hopes began to fade. Soon, she heard the prince was going to marry the princess of a neighboring kingdom.
Oh no! If the prince marries someone else, that will be the end of my life as a human.
The prince's wedding was to be held on a ship. The mermaid princess gazed mournfully at the ocean and suddenly spotted her sisters, all of them with their heads shorn of their beautiful tresses, waving wildly at her.
What are you all doing here, and what have you all done with your beautiful hair?
We could not see your misery anymore, so we begged the witch to give you back your voice in exchange for our hair.
Thank you so much, dear sisters. But the prince is marrying someone else.
You silly girl. Go and tell him you can speak now.
No, I cannot do it, even if it breaks my heart.
The princess dove into the ocean, knowing she would drown, as she was no longer a mermaid. Someone saw her jumping and ran to inform the prince. The prince dove down after her and brought her up.
Now I remember why I thought I knew you. You're the one who saved me in the shipwreck. I love you, my darling, and it does not matter to me if you cannot speak.
The prince took the mermaid princess to the ship.
Father, forgive me, but I cannot marry anyone else. This is my beloved.
The prince placed the wedding band on his beloved's finger. As soon as he did so, the princess's melodious voice returned.
My darling, you can speak? Oh, this is the happiest day of my life.
I can now look forward to a wonderful life with my beloved prince and see my sisters when they come up from the sea.
There was once a vain emperor who just loved clothes. More than ruling his land wisely, he seemed interested only in changing into a new suit every hour. He would visit the theater and go out in his carriage so that the people would get to see his new suits every day. How he loved to show off his new clothes to all the people. Instead of discussing with his ministers the state of the kingdom, he was more interested in their opinion of his clothes.
So, my dear ministers, what do you think of my new dress? Isn't it better than the one I wore yesterday?
Your Majesty, it is absolutely wonderful. What a beautiful design.
The stories of the emperor's love for clothes spread far and wide and reached the ears of two scoundrels. The cunning fellows landed up at the emperor's court one day and asked to meet the emperor.
And what work do you have with the Emperor? He is a busy man and cannot be meeting everyone.
Oh, we are very fine weavers, sir, and we can weave clothes like none other in the kingdom. We have heard that the Emperor loves clothes and have come to make him a suit with our beautiful cloth.
The Emperor has got so many suits made of so many different cloths. What is so different in your cloth?
Well, you see, our cloth is so light and delicate that it is almost invisible. In fact, it is visible only to those who are fit to do the jobs they are doing, and fools most certainly cannot see our cloth."
When the courtier heard this, he rushed to tell the emperor about this amazing new cloth that the two weavers were talking about.
Fools cannot see it, you say, and it's invisible to those not suited for their jobs. This I must see. Go fetch them immediately. If what they say is true, then I will know who among my ministers and courtiers should be removed from their posts.
The courtier ran to bring the two weavers to the emperor.
Come on, you two. The Emperor shall see you now, and your cloth better be as good as you claim it to be.
The two weavers were presented before the emperor, where he sat with his ministers.
So, you weave a special cloth, is it?
Yes, Your Majesty. It is a cloth that none other can weave.
Very well. You will be provided with everything you need, and you must spin this cloth here in the palace. Here's a bag of gold to start with, and you can ask for anything else you might want.
"Of course, Your Majesty. We will spin the cloth here and make the most splendid suit for you, a suit which no one would have ever seen."
The emperor ordered 2 looms to be set up in a room. The weavers asked for golden thread and the finest of silks, all of which they hid away in their bags and pretended to be working away at the looms. In the meanwhile, the emperor was getting more and more curious to know what the weavers were doing, and decided to send his trusted minister to have a look.
Minister, you are one of my most senior ministers, and among the most sensible, so I know I can trust you and your judgment. I want you to go and look at the cloth the weavers are weaving, and let me know how it's coming along. The other ministers might not be able to see the cloth, you understand.
Of course, Your Majesty. I know exactly what you were trying to say.
So the minister went to the room where the weavers were busy working.
"Oh, come in, sir. Have a look at this beautiful and intricate design we have woven. And the colours, look how vibrant they are. Don't you like it, sir? We have worked really, really hard."
Oh yes. I've never seen such beautiful workmanship. I must tell the Emperor. Carry on making the wonderful material.
"And sir, could you please make arrangements for some more gold thread and silk to be provided?"
Yes, of course. Good heavens! I cannot admit to anyone that I cannot see anything. Are my spectacles not right? Or am I an idiot not fit to do my job?
The minister went back to the emperor, having decided to not mention that he could see no cloth being woven. After so many years of serving the emperor, he did not want it to be known that he was not suited for his job. No, that would never do.
Well, Minister, what do you think of the cloth those weavers are working on?
Oh, Your Majesty, I don't have words to describe it. The colors and design are like nothing I have ever seen.
It is that good, is it? Do you think I should wear a suit of that cloth to the grand procession I shall be leading soon?
Of course, Your Majesty. Everyone will be looking at you.
The weavers continued pretending to work on the looms. They asked for more gold thread and more of the finest silk available, and of course, put all this away in their bags. They asked for more candles, pretending to work late into the night. Their scissors went snip, snip, snip in the air, needles weaving in and out of imaginary cloth with no threads in them. After some time, the emperor again grew curious about the new cloth the weavers were weaving.
I think I will now send my trusted courtier to see how those two are progressing.
The emperor sends summons for the courtier to come.
Courtier, go and see how my new suit is coming along, and come back and tell me everything in detail.
So the courtier made his way to the room where the weavers were busy on their looms.
Welcome, sir. Have you come to see the Emperor's suit? We are sure neither you nor the Emperor will be disappointed. We are working very hard to make sure it is ready for the Emperor to wear for the procession.
And how do you like it, sir? Have you ever seen such a magnificent design or such a perfect blend of colors?
The courtier was as confused as the minister. He could see absolutely nothing, and admitting that would mean he was an idiot and not fit to do the job he was doing. Like the minister, he had no intention of being labeled a fool.
I must say it is an amazing suit, absolutely befitting of our great ruler. And you were right, I have never seen such marvelous craftsmanship.
The courtier listened carefully to how the weavers were describing the suit, because he did not know what he could tell the emperor otherwise. How could he describe something he could not see at all?
So, courtier, what do you think of the new suit?
The courtier described in great detail the pattern and colors, exactly as the weavers had told him. He certainly did not want to admit he could see nothing, as that would make him an idiot in everyone's eyes.
Ah, well, I think tomorrow I shall go and see the suit for myself. Everyone seems to be praising it so much. I can't wait to see it for myself.
The next day, the emperor went to the room where the weavers were pretending to be busy weaving. Up and down their hands flew, while their eyes were fixed on the looms, concentrating so hard on the imaginary cloth.
Oh, your majesty, we have been waiting to show you your new suit. It is so beautiful, even better than we had expected. People will be talking of nothing but your suit at the procession. Here, have a look at the jacket and the trousers. I am sure they will fit your majesty like a second skin. And the cloak, isn't it magnificent? They are all so light and fragile, like a spider's web.
The emperor looked hard, but he could see nothing.
I am the emperor of the land, and if I say I cannot see anything, my people will think I'm not fit to rule them. That cannot happen.
For fear of being considered a fool, the emperor also went along with what the others had said, and greatly admired the suit. The day of the procession, the weavers pretended to help the emperor wear the suit, pretending to handle it very carefully.
Come, your majesty, stand before this mirror. Here, please wear the jacket and trousers.
The weavers pretended to make the emperor wear the jacket and trousers. They pretended to nip the trousers in a little at the waist, straighten out the collar of the jacket, and make some other adjustments. They then stood back to admire their handiwork.
Ah, that is a wonderful fit, don't you think so, Your Majesty? And the colors look so good on you. Now let me adjust the cloak. There, that's done. What do you have to say, Your Majesty?
Well, I must say you have done a great job. Like you say, it's an excellent fit, and the design and colors are outstanding.
The emperor stood in front of the mirror, and though he could still not see any clothes, he pretended to admire them and himself, while striking different poses before the mirror.
Well, your majesty, it is time for you to make an appearance and lead the procession.
The courtier came forward and pretended to hold the long train and followed the emperor out. All the people in the land had heard about the magical quality of the suit and were waiting curiously and impatiently to see the emperor wearing it. Finally, when the emperor made an entry, the crowd became absolutely silent on seeing him. And then suddenly, the voice of a small child was heard.
Oh, he's wearing nothing!
All the people then started shouting the same.
He is wearing nothing. He is wearing nothing. He is wearing nothing.
The emperor was extremely embarrassed. He now understood how the two weavers had made a fool of him, as well as his ministers and courtiers. All he could do was lead the procession as he was, with as much dignity as he could. The weavers, of course, had already escaped with all the gold, thread, and silks the emperor had given them, and were never seen or heard of again.